Where 8-cylinder trucks have traditionally been the norm, what about a 4-cylinder truck? Is half the cylinders half the truck? I'm Chris, welcome to GTK Cars, and today I'm going to show you the 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 2.7 liter turbo. Big shout out to Bruce Woodring Auto here in Henderson, Kentucky for giving us access to today's car that we're going to review. You can find them online at brucewoodringauto.com or stop by and talk to my friend Sabino. He'll be glad to assist you. Under the hood of this really big truck, we have the 2.7 liter turbo 4-cylinder engine. It is an 8-speed automatic, this truck in particular, and it's putting out 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque, which really isn't that bad for a 4-cylinder. So at the front of the truck, we've got our blacked out grille, which I think really looks good, kind of helps accent the color of the truck, which the blue on this truck is absolutely stunning, and you'll see that in some of the later shots when we get it out in the sun. We've got our pull hooks here on the front, which are really nice and sturdy, which is what you want from a truck like this. Around the side, we've got our 20-inch Chevy rims, got our Silverado badge. The kind of blacked out theme with the grille continues over to the side mirrors and to the door handles. Really cool feature on the side mirrors that I love and I wish all cars would do. If they're not going to put the blind spot assist on there, at least put these on here. I actually like these better. Those are actually mirrors to actually see your blind spot, which I think is the most practical thing that you can put on side mirrors on any vehicle. And then coming around, I did find it a little interesting that the gas cap does not lock. I don't like that, but you do have capless refueling, which is nice. It does have 4x4 capabilities, which you want. We got these blacked out accents on the bumper. You got your bumper step right here, which I think is fantastic. I think it not only looks cool, but it's also very practical. We've got backup cameras and sensors. Then you have your receiver here, so you can haul some trailers or whatever it is you want to haul. On our pretty nice looking key fob, I mean, it's a pretty high-end looking key fob. Now you can see you got your lock, unlock, you've got remote start, and we have a button to automatically release the tailgate, which I just think is absolutely amazing. This truck in particular has the lining on the inside, which I think is great, so you're not scratching the truck. Inside here, we've got these rear bed lights on both sides, which I think is wonderful, so if you're getting stuff out at night, you can see. And we have a pretty cool 3-prong outlet back here as well. This truck's all about practicality. And I have to mention it, but this, the tailgate, I wish you could feel it. It is so light. So putting it up, even if you're maybe slightly injured or something, you're gonna have no problem just with one finger. Look at that. I love that. And I almost forgot to mention, but with this truck, we have an approximate payload capacity of just under 1,900 pounds. And as far as towing capacity, you're looking at about 9,000 pounds. So starting right here with the door panels, they are pretty basic, but on a truck like this, you're not looking for anything fancy. You got your handle, your lock, your unlock, you got your window buttons. The driver's side window is the only one that's going to be automatic from over here. There is not a window on the back, unfortunately, so you're not going to find any button for that. We do have buttons right here to the left of your steering wheel. You got your hill start assist, you got your 2 high and your 4 high. It's all right here. You got your automatic lights, which is convenient. You got some trailer options there. There's another button in the center for that. We have analog gauges, nothing, you know, nothing overly fancy in here. You got your cruise control buttons, which is the only thing that you find on this steering wheel. There's nothing else over here. You go to the higher end model, I'm sure you'll find some more buttons here. And then in the center, I just think this is fantastic. You do have a screen where your backup camera and everything comes up, but you have physical buttons for everything, for radio control. Your climate control uses these knobs, which is just wonderful. That's just the easiest thing that you can possibly use. And then you have some buttons down here, traction control, hazard lights. This is for your tailgate. The truck does have automatic start-stop feature, but you can turn that off right there. And it also has lane keep assist, which I think is a pretty cool feature, considering this is kind of more of a base model truck. We also have our USB ports. We have our outlets right here. It's just such a well-equipped truck as far as functionality and practicality right there. So you need to plug something in, you're pretty much set in this Silverado. And in the center right here, we have a really cool bench seat. This is just like such a multi-purpose area. You got cup holders, storage compartments. We got storage right here in the top, which is pretty deep. You could, you know, put quite a bit of stuff in there. Or you can just turn it in to a seat for another person, which I think is pretty cool. I can't imagine someone happily riding in this middle seat, but it is an option. And then past that, we have storage right here under the seat. Gives you, this is almost the same size as your top storage, so you have twice as much storage having this little compartment under the bench seat, which is really cool. And there's a spot on the front where you can actually lock this, and that's even cooler. And then to put the seat back down, there's just a little handle right over here that pulls out. You pull that, and you're back down to having your cup holders back. We also have dual glove compartments. Your upper one, which you're not gonna really get a lot in there, but it is there. And then your lower one here, which is, you know, relatively standard size. You can store practical stuff in there. Nice little feature. The driver gets to enjoy electronic seat functions, which is nice, including your lumbar support. But everything else is gonna be manual in the car, but let me take you over and show you the passenger seat because it's actually pretty nice. So even though this side is manual controls to move the seat back and forth, this has got to be one of the coolest handles I've seen on a vehicle to do so. It is plastic, it's very clearly plastic, but it feels very sturdy when you're using it, and I love that you can just slip your fingers in there. It's just so easy to use. And here we are in the back seat underneath our rear back seat, and look how much storage is back here. How many things you could just store under these seats. This is just so cool and practical. I love this so much. And then if we come up, you can see we have plenty of space back here. We have little vents to help keep your backseat passengers cool on those hot days or warm in the winter, whatever type of climate you're in. We have pouches behind the seats, which I think is great. I hate it when car manufacturers leave these out. I mean, come on, it can't cost that much to add these to the back. And as you can see, I mean, this is the biggest vehicle we've done a review on so far, so I really don't have to talk about the space. You're not going to have a problem with it back here at all. The seat is already in the driving position. There's plenty of headroom. They actually have it cut out up here to even give you more headroom. I mean, just look at this. This is, unless you're a professional basketball player and 7.5 feet tall, you're not going to have any problems back here. And another note on these rear seats back here, there's no button or anything that you have to unlatch or latch. You just literally, you can pull the seats up. Look at all this storage. I mean, you could lay 2 or 3 people in here probably. It'd be a little tight, but you could do it. And that's just amazing. And then you just pull them back down. Like I said, there's no buttons or levers or latches. That is just really, really cool how that works. And it does lock pretty well, so you're not gonna have to worry about these coming down while you're driving, because you do kind of have to pull it to get it to lock back in. I think that's wonderful. Now the only thing that's left to do is get it out on the road with Tyler and see how it drives.
So what truck do you buy when you own boat shoes? Today we're looking at the
when you own boat shoes. He hates my boat shoes.
Yeah.
I just bought them and I'm proud of them.
Yeah, I know. That's why you're driving a V4.
A V4.
4-cylinder.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if it's... So, we're in the 2022 Chevy Silverado 1500 Custom, and the first thing you will notice once you start the car and pull out of park,
it moves. I don't know
It is
why.
a very heavy shift handle that you really have to grapple with and pull down and yank on.
Still got one of those old school traditional shifters right on the steering column, which is actually pretty cool. And I kind of like, I think you're nitpicking at it more so. I think it's cool because it just makes you feel like you're in a truck. You really have to pull it.
No, you have to pull hard to the point where you feel like you're almost breaking it. It's a nice truck.
It is. It's a really nice truck.
Spacious.
I mean, oh god, the space is unbelievable in it. It's nothing fancy in here. It's not a high-end model by any means. I think it's priced. I know what this one's for sale for. I think the MSRP is just a little bit less than that. I think the MSRP on these, you're probably looking at about an average of about 47. But be prepared in this car market to pay 50-ish. And that does seem like a lot considering it doesn't have very many luxury amenities. It's just very basic. It's more of a base model. But at the same time, I'm impressed.
I wouldn't want anything less than this.
No.
If I was going out to buy a new vehicle, this would be the bar for the bare minimum that I would have to have.
Exactly. And I didn't mention it earlier, but in this model, we do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is a very nice touch. But the kicker for the whole thing is it worth getting the 4-cylinder over the 8-cylinder? That's the big question. And driving it, when we were driving it to our location to shoot the video, it doesn't feel underpowered. It really does feel good. I mean, it's got the turbo in there too, helping, push along the 4-cylinder. So it feels good. It's nice, smooth engine, feels good. But the kicker for me, let me adjust our camera slides a little bit every now and then. The kicker for me is the MPG. You're only saving about 3 MPG, 3 MPG over the 5.7 liter V8.
Oh.
And it also depends on your driving style. You have somebody who drives more aggressively in this 4-cylinder and someone who drives more conservatively in the 8-cylinder. They're probably going to get the same. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a wash.
Yeah. It's a...
So specifically, in this one, the 2.7 liter 4, you're going to get 17 city and 20 highway. And just when I saw those figures, I just wasn't impressed. Because I was like, for a 4-cylinder? But it does make sense when you think about it, because you have this really big truck. This little 4-cylinder engine has to work overtime to move it.
It's moving a lot of weight.
It's moving a lot of weight, especially if you're hauling something. And you can compare that to the 14 city, 18 highway on the 8-cylinder. It's just not.
The big issue is going to come down when if you're using this as a truck. Are you towing or are you hauling? You're going to want that extra grunt. You're never going to say, man, I wish I had a little less power.
Yeah, right? Not in this country, not the average truck driver. And I'm a bit of a petrol head myself. And given that there's really not that much of a difference, I'd spend just a few $1,000s more, and I'd probably just get the bigger engine because I'd want to say my truck's an 8-cylinder. That just seems to be the American way.
That doesn't bother me as much as the fact, if I wanted a full-size truck and I wanted to be economical, I'd have no problem looking at this. I would be very happy with a 4-cylinder. If I was using this truck for farm use, for commercial use, I wouldn't even consider it.
Right.
Yeah. But if you're a family, if you're a single individual, and you do want a full-size truck for your animals, you're running around town, the back space, it would be hard to not look at the Colorado, the smaller version of this, to see the differences. But I've yet to find a complaint in this vehicle.
No, I mean it's a solid truck. I there's something about driving a truck. I'm not a big truck person. I don't have a need for a truck. I've always driven cars, and maybe one SUV. I did actually have a Ford Ranger, the 1999 Ford Ranger.
Right.
That's a big difference, compared to this. But driving a truck just feels so good. I just love how high up I am, how big my presence is on the road. You feel safe in them. And I am so sorry, everyone, for the camera slipping. I'm what it is though. There's a rubber piece that's coming off, and so it's sliding. So I do apologize for that, though, on any of them.
This feels very much like a well-equipped Civic. Everything you need, none of the extras.
Right. Now, I will say, driving it a second ago while we were kind of moving, hear the little whine from the turbo?
I do. I've noticed
It's not an exciting noise.
It's cute.
More,
it's
cute, but
it's
you don't want it to sound cute in a big truck. That would bug me. That would bug me in this truck. Yeah. I would not like that. Driving this every day.
What bugs you more? The camera falling or the whittle whistle?
I think right now the camera falling.
Yes.
The camera falling is more of a pet peeve than the turbo whistle. It's not really annoying. It's just, you're in this big beefy truck. Oh, look at me. I'm an American man driving my truck. It's like, it's funny. Overall, though,
it's a cute car.
I think it's a great truck. The blue on it, it's a beautiful, beautiful truck.
Now,
it really
did notice that it has the bubble mirror on the drivers, but not on the passengers.
It doesn't, does it? Okay.
Which I would argue is equally as important.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I like being able to see blind spots on both sides. I'm glad you caught that because I had not noticed that. That is dumb. Come on, Chevy. Add the blind spot mirror on the passenger side, and let's somehow work on this turbo whine. It's not fitting for a truck. Everything else though, I'm fine with it. I think the price is a little steep for what you get?
Price is a lot.
Yes, I do. But the car market, that's just the car market that we're in. I mean, if you want to get into a pretty nice truck, we've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. I mean, you have the technology in this truck. You don't have everything, but you got enough. Sure, I'm sure it's fine. If I was using this for work and I could business expense this, I'd probably be fine with it. So overall, this 4-cylinder Silverado really is a nice truck. Our biggest issues being the turbo whine, the price being a little too steep, and the fact that the gas mileage savings are minimal compared to the 5.3-liter V8. Although, depending on how much you drive each year, the savings can easily be in the hundreds based on current gas prices, or even over $1,000 annually if you drive a lot. But at this price point for a truck, I'd personally spend a little more money on the purchase price and gas each year and just buy the V8. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with us today. Hope you enjoyed the review. It's wonderful to have Tyler back with us. The last video we did with the Camry,
didn't even get to drive.
No. Great car, though. Great car. So, everybody, stay safe. Have fun.
And drive fast.
No, and put the pedal down. This is like I don't
know.
Why did we bring him?
This is GTK Cars. I'm Tyler. This is Chris. We're out.